Okay, Micron. So let's talk about what's happening right here. 814, that's up 8.44%. That is helping all of your memory names. The reason this one is up right now in the pre-market is because they got an upgrade from UBS. And that upgrade from UPS, Oklo also signed a big deal this morning, so we'll talk about that. That upgrade from UBS basically is getting rid of the core bear case that I think some of the memory bulls or the memory bears have been worried about, which is the sustainability of growth. So they raised their price target from $500 to $1,600, $1,625. So obviously a massive increase in the price target. And the reason for that is because we are raising EPS across 2027 to 2029 to $155, $167, and $117 versus $133, $122, and $77. So they essentially see an acceleration going into the next 2 years, whereas they saw a deacceleration in their prior estimate. And the drop-off from 2028 to 2029, based on these LTAs, long-term agreements that they feel have been officially achieved with some of the hyperscalers, is much less than what they thought before. And the reason for that is because it would still be above $100 of EPS into 2029. So because they see MU's EPS remaining above 100 through calendar year 2029, you put a 15 multiple on that, which the average semiconductor stock is at 34 times. And that's how you get to a $1,625 stock price in the forward earnings when it comes to Micron. So that's what you got. It's a very simple kind of argument right there. Now, again, do you believe in the growth and sustainability of those earnings along with the pricing power based on the checks that UBS had? And I think D.A. Davidson had kind of the same point. The hyperscaler deals with some of these memory companies, in particular Micron, Samsung, and SK Hynix, are now going well over 2 years. And as a result of that, because the prices they have right now are being locked into these hyperscaler deals, particularly with Nvidia, over the coming years, that is what allows them to lock in the pricing power. Even if prices were to fall substantially, let's say tomorrow, the fact that they've locked in these deals with the prices that they are having right now, which are producing 80% gross margins, at least for Micron, is, you know, leading to the streets to say, okay, well, if we put a basic multiple on it, then yeah, it's probably got to go up. And that's why you're seeing the stock get re-rated right here. So up 8.23%. We're going to see if the street fades this or not. May 13th was the high that a lot of stocks have not been able to get above. And I think today maybe is the day. Micron basically at that May 13th high right now, I think 818 is what it's got to get above. And if the street doesn't fade it, then a lot of these names, whether it's Qualcomm, Micron, not Nvidia because Nvidia doesn't go up, but many of these other semiconductor names, AMD up in the pre-market, likely take out those May 13th highs. And we set some new highs for the cycle right here, as you're seeing more of these names go green. AMD right there, 483 in the pre-market. All-time high was 481, so that one's already breaking through some of those 52-week highs. Corning right there, that's up about 1.81%. CoreWeave is up 3%. And then Nebius, I think we're still above 220, 223, as that is up 4% as well in the pre-market. So that's what you got on memory, DRAM, Micron, and the other names that are, as a result, following up to green. The other headline that we had on memory real quick is SK Hynix. They introduced a new cooling system to help with their chip architecture for memory, which just makes it easier for, it's called HBF, the HBM to be on the chip and not have to get overheated, essentially. And that took SK Hynix to all-time highs yesterday, as that new architecture basically signaled to the street that, hey, you know, they're innovating in the context of memory and they're going to be able to really do well when it comes to selling this new product. Speaking of memory, you know, what's also really interesting about this, the emerging markets index has massively outperformed the S&P 500. If you take out Samsung, TSMC, and SK Hynix, 3 companies internationally, 1 from Taiwan, 2 from South Korea, it underperforms dramatically. So the blue line is emerging markets with those 3 companies. The red line is emerging markets without it. It just goes to show the concentration and importance that these companies are putting up in the broader ecosystem of emerging markets, which is that if you don't have these names, you know, the markets aren't really doing that well. Same thing for the S&P 500. 51% of the EPS projections that have increased for 2026 is because of Micron. So, I mean, these companies are incredibly important. They matter. They're getting a lot of attention. And obviously, if they can sustain that earnings growth, you know, they're going to continue to be names that are very important for the broader equity markets.